Hello, leader. I've got some bad news for you today. Here it is. There's no quick fix, make it better forever solution for team performance. No. Now, people can definitely turn their performance around, and you'll kick up your heels in delight as you watch them come alive at work in a whole new way. But thinking it will all remain as rosy as this forever is foolish. You can also bless and release team members who are no longer a fit and send them out into the world of work so they can find their next best career move. And you'll breathe easier knowing that you did the right thing for everyone involved. But thinking that you'll never have to terminate anyone ever again because now you have your team set is foolish. Why? Because people are like plants. They require attention and nurturing to continue to grow and thrive in harmony. If you become complacent and drift off of your care plan, people and plants will wilt, shrivel up, or go the other way by stealing energy and growing unattended as they morph into something that is unruly, overly demanding, and invasive. Yikes! So today, let's talk about what you can do to level up your leadership game so that everyone stays healthy and flourishing for longer periods of time, including you. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Shelli Warren. I'm so glad you're taking me along with you as you go about your day. And hey, did you know that the team that got you here may not be the team that will get you there? This episode is sparked, as all episodes are, by conversations that happen inside the Leadership Lab small group coaching programs. They're always deep questions, dilemmas, moments of celebration, and moments where my clients are ready to pull their hair out because some team member or another has disappointed them in some way. You see, it's normal. During a recent group call, when I asked everyone to share a win, one client said, "Things are really smooth right now. For once, I don't have any drama, and I'm feeling great about my team." Can you relate? Her team has gone through some ebbs and flows this past year. She hired, then had to fire, and also made the largest payroll hire she's ever done, which, as you can imagine, was stressful. She was delighted to tell us that 6 months in, that particular team member is really finding her groove. Another client said, "I'm going to embrace the idea that there really is a great assistant out there for me." You see, she deserves and needs a great assistant. The challenge is that years ago, she was one, and I mean a rock star assistant to some industry gurus whose names you would all recognize. She survived those employment experiences and now is an incredible business owner with another growth spurt in the works. So she needs someone she can confidently delegate to. She said she wants a seasoned assistant, and I know how kind she is due to her former employment experiences. So I know she will find and then keep a great local assistant who will quickly become invaluable as she once was. Another client shared that she's had an epiphany lately and has declared that she's ready to make another shift and up-level her clientele, her prices, and of course, her impact and revenue. She feels that her team structure, and especially with the upcoming 2 new hires, will enable her elevated goals to come to life. You see, her outlook has changed. For many reasons, she's confident that her business is ready for the next new level, and so is her team. If she didn't feel that she had the right team, she wouldn't be dreaming about a bigger future. No, she'd be stuck in the day-to-day operations, doing too much hand-holding and fixing mistakes and double-checking everything out of fear of losing a client. You see, that's real life. Real women who lead, sharing troubles and triumphs and asking each other for ideas, supports, and connections. There's never been a time when every client of mine couldn't relate to her peers inside the Leadership Lab programs. So with all this growth, both for yourself, the business, and the team, what should you be doing to keep up? Well, one thing I know for sure is that you don't need hacks or any fix it fast with my strategy schemes. No, you need scheduled time each month to engage in the hard stuff. It will be less scary to do this if you up-leveled your thinking by being surrounded with women who are also up-leveling theirs. I read recently on a post shared by one of my favorite Canadian interior designers that Harvard psychologist Dr. David McClellan found that as much as 99% of your success will be determined by your reference group, meaning the people with whom you habitually associate. You see, Dr. McClellan passed away in 1998 at 80 years of age. And as I did some digging about him, I found that he was also known for his philosophies on people, described as high achievers. This piqued my interest because high achievers are exactly my favorite people to work alongside, support, and coach. According to him, achievement-oriented people are highly motivated to achieve goals in life. They have a high drive for achieving targets, and they're performance-oriented. Sounds like a great foundation to build any size team upon. But being an overachiever, especially as a small business owner, can come with crushing loneliness. You can be surrounded by an incredible team and wonderful clients and customers and still feel terribly lonely. It's very common and rarely talked about out of the fear of being labeled as exaggerating the situation or being overly emotional or downright ungrateful for the success that you've had. And here's another thing. It was recently announced that Dr. Ruth Westheimer, the acclaimed sex counselor, was just named New York's Loneliness Ambassador, a brand new role she lobbied to introduce. It's a fact. Loneliness is being described as our next epidemic, and Dr. Ruth, at 95 years of age, is set to do something about it. But in the world of small business and in leadership, we've known it. That's why we have that old sage mantra. It's lonely at the top. Now, you felt it all along the journey of starting to where you are now, and especially where you are now, because you're experiencing success, and so many people want something from you. And there's others whose livelihoods are relying on you. And then, of course, you've got people around you that aren't comfortable with your success. So no wonder you feel more alone than ever. And if we learned anything from the COVID-19 pandemic, we learned that loneliness and isolation can be deadly. Now, one thing I know for sure is that there are plenty of options for support if you work in corporate. Many a workshop you can attend to expand your leadership skills, and lots of mentors around to help you with your career. Plenty of money, grants, and conferences to bring you together with colleagues and self-proclaimed gurus. But in the world of small business, there are not many options to help you grow as a leader. Sure, there's lots available for the new entrepreneur, the side hustler, and the solopreneur. Everything from business plan and cash flow coaches to financial advisors ready to find grants and reimbursements and even capital investments if you are a maker launching a product with mass appeal. But you are not a newbie. You've got an established business and a team and a solid reputation and demand. And you often find yourself lonely these days. Your local small business programmers and your online coaches for newbies can't help you now because you've grown past their foundational trainings, those basics of launching a business that they offer. You've graduated into needing the next level of entrepreneurial support. And like an athlete, the better you are, the more specific coaches you need. So don't get caught up in the claims that you need one coach for all the things you need to grow as a leader in your niche. No, you know how to make money. You know how to attract people towards you to purchase your products and services. But what's been most difficult has been finding and keeping great people to work with you in your small business. Now, I get it. I hear it every day from clients that they thought growing a team was going to be pretty easy, but it's been the exact opposite. A client told me just this week that she's no longer tolerating what she used to. She's moved past trying to please everyone by keeping them, even when they're not performing. And she's no longer hiring people who are relatives of her local connections when they aren't even the best or a top candidate out of the weight of obligation. I was so proud of her. Here's the thing. It's now time to become a strategic and solution-based leader. And you are ready for it. Now, you've got strategies. You know how to make money. You've got marketing strategies. And you've got help with your financials. And you've automated your sales and operations. You know your best sellers, and you know what clients want from you. You're well known in your niche, and you've continued to grow over the years. You do not need another shiny or sparkly strategy or software to buy and try to plug into your business. No, adding more bright and new isn't what you need at this stage of growth, because growth leads to complexity. You need to go back to basics. Specifically, you need help navigating the highs and the lows of moving through activities that are designed to help you scale further, but with emphasis on navigating the people side of your business. I've seen so many businesses implode because they grew too fast, hired too fast, and then tried to keep up. But they did all the wrong things and it all backfired on them. So now that business owner is broken, feeling terrible about herself and her future. And she's so sick of people quitting or people staying and being so mediocre that she doesn't know what's worse. Having people quit because she didn't have the right team structure and systems to support that massive growth, or having people stay and not even want to fix and improve those fragmented systems and processes. It can all feel too much, and that's where the loneliness ramps up even more. So how do you become a strategic and solution-based leader? Well, it starts by preparing for your next level of success, and that can look like subtracting in order to multiply. Here's what I mean by that. Eliminating people, obligations, and things from your life that no longer serve you and the destination that you're headed towards. Now, this can include not renewing memberships to local networking groups that you thought were going to help you connect with your ideal clients and customers, but it never really worked out that way. Instead, it was full of a lot of people who wanted free products, or they wanted to pick your brain, but not actually hire you for your services or purchase your products at the regular price. This can also include not buying renewed tickets to big conferences that simply create flash to get you there, but once you arrived, you find out that you're actually much further along in your business than the majority of the people who attended. You're left realizing that your ticket just helped that person become a 7-figure guru, but you're so disappointed in the content and feeling a bit foolish about it all too. This can also include unsubscribing from email lists, social media accounts, and podcasts that no longer fit your goals, but you've been hanging on to them out of comfort or thinking you might miss something. You don't need comfort. You need to be stretched. It can also look like politely declining invitations to participate in a summit as the ringer, but fully knowing that your expertise is not ideal for those attendees, but the host is wanting to leverage your reputation and connections for their benefit. Sure, it's flattering to be asked, and you can likely tell yourself a story that even one conversion would be worth it. But you're forgetting how that one move can confuse your ideal client and actually send them off down the road, looking for someone who specifically serves people like them. And it can also include declining those invitations to be a speaker, disguised as a paid sponsorship for the event. Sure, it might be cool to be in the room with those folks if they are your ideal client, but how much can your business comfortably afford to spend? As this will be a marketing spend, and you'll be focused on building relationships and converting new connections to potential clients. Are you up for that while you're at this event? So up-leveling your leadership game can also look like revamping your role postings to truly attract high-caliber people to apply instead of hoping you get a few. You don't need to hope. You've moved past that and into expecting great people to apply because you know how to position your role as their next best career move. And up-leveling your leadership game can also look like learning new ways to offer career opportunities for your team members. Instead of thinking you have to throw more money or more time off or more work from home days and all the perks that you can in order to keep them. You're not desperate to keep your team members as content little prisoners. No, you want people to recognize how great a chance they have to grow and develop right alongside you, and you're ready to show them a pathway. And up-leveling your leadership game is having a strategic plan that you stick with because it drives all of your decisions each quarter, and having a communication plan to ensure your team members feel valued and connected with you and fully engaged at work. You're done empowering your team. You're now focused on engaging them. And up-leveling your leadership game can also look like deciding that you no longer are going to be duped by coaches who claim to be leaders, but in reality, their team turnover is ridiculously high, and they have a persona that is front-facing and seemingly ideal. But the people who work for them know the truth, and they're all quietly quitting or working hard to move on out. So up-leveling your leadership game all comes down to this: knowing that when the leader evolves, so does the team, and so do the people that she surrounds herself with. It happens because she's decided she wants something different, and she's set to do the work to get it. Are you ready for this? I think you are. So as we close out today's episode, here's a few steps to take on what you can do with what you just learned today about being ready to level up your leadership game. Number 1, take action to reduce how lonely you feel by selecting a peer group that uplifts you instead of weighs you down. Get these connections on a drumbeat. Come together often to do the hard stuff with a coach who can guide you through those sticky situations of leading people. Number 2, take action to become a strategic and solution-based leader instead of someone who reacts to anything and everything that happens. Decide you're going to find long-term solutions instead of those get-happy-for-the-moment strategies that cannot be sustained as you grow. No more flash. You need easy-to-adapt practicality for your small business, not high-priced and overly complicated corporate stuff that is disguised as useful for a small business owner. And number 3, consider joining a Leadership Lab group coaching program so I can help you. For real, it's time and you're ready. So is your team. You know, leadership can be exciting, challenging, and lonely at times. So don't go it alone. Let me help you create the team and the leadership structure that you've been craving. So until next time, remember, if you have a dream, you need a team. So let's get stacking yours today.